Now, the rains have continued to pour, with more communities getting flooded. JoyNews is learning that the new Kejetia market has been taken over by water, and the traders are having to scoop out the water from their stalls. We'll bring you more on that, as property running into thousands of cedis have been destroyed by floods at Kejetia. And yesterday, we know that some flights had to be delayed as a result of heavy rains in Kumasi, and there was intense traffic. Some people had to stay in traffic for close to 2 hours, plying on routes that would have taken them ideally 30 minutes. Now, let me bring you that story about the new Kejetia market, which was flooded as a result of the rains.
Kumasi has experienced 2 successive nights of heavy downpour. At the Kejetia market, shopkeepers made an effort to remove any remaining flood water from their stalls. After the water receded, some wares destroyed by the water are moved out, while some are salvaged. Affected traders count their loss.
Lost our clothes, materials, shoes, our hair, a lot.
I saw provisions. Some of them are completely destroyed. The oats, for instance, I have to throw everything away.
No money be for materials, so they are far. They can have the baby to a boom, maybe a bassa, do our head, the ACR, a forming in a restoring.
What the car 1.2?
They make sure that we pay our bills on time. All we need is better service from them. We were moved from the central market because of incidents like these, but nothing has changed. It is the second time the market is experiencing such floods. This is the control room of the Kumasi Kejetia market, and it's part of the administration block here. The whole of the block has been inundated by flood water. As you can see, some of the equipment, that's the computers they use here, had to be taken from the ground onto the tables to keep them safe from the flood waters. The environs of the market, including the central business district of Edum, also got flooded. Other areas in the city were submerged by flood, including Anloga Junction, Dagomba Line, KNUST, and Airport Roundabout. At Santase, Kokobin and Bokrum, it took hours for the rain to recede to allow flow of vehicular traffic. Officials of the National Disaster Management Organization were at the market but will not speak to the media. 3 lives have been lost to the floods in Kumasi in the past 2 months. For JoyNews, Nana Ojima reporting.
Now, let's go back to our earlier story, which featured the former Kumasi Mayor, Samuel Sarpong. He joins us on the line with more on what's happening in the Ashanti region capital, Kumasi. Thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. So since you complained about this, and the indication we have is that you've been complaining about this, have you had any response from the mayor or city authorities?
Good morning, and thank you very much for bringing me on your program. As of now, I haven't seen any of the authorities, and it's very, very sad. You see, it seems the authorities are actually sleeping on their job. You see, the main preoccupation of every district assembly is to make sure that the assemblies are managed. And when you talk of management, you have to make sure that the rules and regulations which govern the assemblies are kept, like not building all the waterway. But because of our political experience, they actually refuse to cut the fix when such authorities are flouting. And that is our main problem.
So, Mr. Sarpong, in the area where you live, we heard another resident complaining about these structures that have begun springing up and how they are affecting the lives of some early settlers in the community. So you made a complaint. Yes, there was flooding. Unfortunately, a toddler died around the area. No NADMO officials have been there. Is that the case?
You're right. No NADMO official has been here. And just this morning, to be very honest with you, I discussed this with a few friends, and they have actually decided to bring down excavators to at least itself the areas that have been flooded.
So you have been a mayor of the city before, and in that story we heard by my colleague, you mentioned that you had started some demolition exercises while you were in office, and you left office sometime in 2012. Since then and now, tell us if any work has happened at all, or if you've been able to liaise with any of the mayors who've come after you to make sure that at least that work is completed.
That is a problem. It's just because of political experience, they are refusing to cut the whip. Because if you punish anybody that for building on the waterway, the person will definitely say that I wouldn't vote for you. And because of political experience, you just stand by and then watch. And this is the problem that they are actually facing. As you said earlier, when I was a mayor of this, I realized that there was a school called for safety. People have encroached on the land. We took a very bold step and demolished almost all the buildings. And that actually helped the school to expand. But that's now, even if you go there, you see that still people are encroaching on the land.
So, sir, sorry to cut in, but have you or any of the residents in your area made an official complaint for at least the issue of flooding, which we are told is an annual event to be dealt with?
I have made an official complaint. Apart from that, the residents informed NADMO. NADMO came here and then had a discussion with the developer. And nothing was done. Nothing was done.
So do I get the impression that whenever it begins to rain, you and your colleagues who live in that area feel helpless?
Oh, yes. Because it is a job of the assembly. One, to undertake periodic desilting. But this is not done. I mean, so far as I am concerned, for the past years, I haven't seen any excavator around that place to be undertaking any desilting exercise. And people who build on the walkway, on the waterway, are supposed to be punished. But that is not done because we do not have the political will to cut the whip.
I appreciate your time this morning, sir, and apologies for what you have to endure as a result of the rains in Kumasi, which have caused floods. You heard that Samuel Sarpong, he is former mayor of Kumasi, a victim of recent floods in the city. We've been joined by the regional NADMO coordinator, Frank Dodu. Thank you so much for your time. Let's start off from a claim Mr. Sarpong made that since the flood incident around the affordable housing area in Kumasi, which led to the loss of the life of a toddler, NADMO hasn't visited the place. Is that the case?
Hello?
Hello, sir. Apologies, sir. I understand I'm speaking to Kwabna in Centre,
exactly.
Regional NADMO Coordinator for the Ashanti region.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope you got my first question, sir. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's start off from that incident involving the toddler who died.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are told by Mr. Samuel Sarpong, who is former KMA mayor, that since the incident occurred around the affordable housing area in Kumasi, NADMO officials haven't yet visited the place.
Good, I would say good morning to your listeners.
And the writer?
Who said NADMO presidents haven't visited the place?
And I'm asking you, have you visited the place?
We were the first people to retrieve the body.
Okay. Have you visited the affordable housing area where the former KMA mayor lives, Samuel Sarpong, which was also affected by the floods?
No. Honorable Samuel Sarpong, doctor, doesn't reside at the affordable houses.
Okay. Where does he
rather reside at Paraku Estate.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification there. So they experienced some flooding. They have been talking to my colleague Nanaya Ojima, who sent in a report from Kumasi, and they say that you haven't been there. We've seen broken walls and all.
But I don't know where your reporters have been getting their report from. Okay? I was with Honorable Samuel Sarpong last 3 days, was around 9:30 when the disaster occurred. I can even send you the...
Hello? Hello? Oh, too bad. We lost the regional NADMO director for the Ashanti region. I was just putting that concern or claim by Mr. Samuel Sarpong himself, who says the NADMO officials have not been there since that incident. And he claims that, well, they were there. Sorry for the earlier mix-up with regards to where exactly that location is. But we've been following the floods in Kumasi. It's been raining there for more than 2 weeks, almost every day. And these rains are not just like what we experience in other parts of the country. We are told these are really heavy rains. I'm told we have the regional NADMO director for Ashanti back on the line. Thank you so much, sir. So you were saying that you were with Mr. Samuel Sarpong?
Yes.
Okay.
Last 3 days, around 9:30 in the evening, PM.
Okay.
When the place was flooded.
Okay.
Yes. And there were a lot of houses that have been, people have been trapped in, even including 2 children.
Okay.
So I have to personally, with the fire service, including myself, regional deputy, the 2 IC, police commander, Mr. Ajiman Ajim,
okay,
and ASP Abrokwa, divisional commander Central. We were together. They were even, directing the traffic. In fact, I appreciate all the fire service from KNUST. The kind of work that they did. The leader of the team was Mr. Pia. They did very well. So we were there. So I don't know where your report. Your report.
I actually spoke to Mr. Dr. Samuel Sarpong before speaking to you, and so that's coming directly from him. So I don't know. Maybe we would have to clarify what exactly he means by NADMO has not been there since the incident, because that was his response to me. But let's talk about victims of the floods, because the rains are still coming in really strongly in Kumasi. We are told that flights delayed yesterday, really heavy rains. So you are expecting that this will continue for some time. What are the preventive measures that NADMO is taking, especially to ensure the safety of lives?
Yeah, because this is not the first time this thing has been happening. In fact, Honorable Samuel Sarpong's place was flooded 3 days ago. And yesterday to around 4 p.m., we had another heavy downpour. That was twice as much as what happened 3 days ago. You see, and we only have a message for them that they should leave and go and find a safe haven. Because if you listen to the weather forecasters, they are predicting very much rainfall this season. So we have been, advising a lot of people out there.
All right. So on television right now, we are showing videos of flooding at the new Kejetia market. If you're asking people who live in flood-prone areas to find a safe haven, are you also asking these market women not to go to the market? I mean, what exactly is the plan? I'm trying to find out.
No, we all know. We all know that Kejetia is a flood-prone area. And even at the zoo and the racecourse, all those places, it's a flood-prone area. We all know. Honorable Samuel Sarpong's time as a mayor is aware. And Honorable, after him, there comes Kojobosu. I was an assembly member. I've been in as an assembly member for almost 19 to 20 years now. I'm no more an assembly member. You know, the money that we acquired to build, the market was meant for central market. The project was meant for central market.
Okay.
But it was, obvious that the money was changed because, everybody knows, every assembly member knows that, the money was meant for redevelopment of Kumasi Central Market. So it was later that we found out everything has been changed to redevelop Kejetia. You see, Kejetia was in a good shape before it was demolished. So this question, the only person who can answer this question is Honorable Kojobosu.
So, okay, yes, it's already happened. Right now, people are confronted with a situation. You are the National Disaster Management Organization boss in the Ashanti region. And I'm asking, apart from asking these residents to find a safe haven, what are you doing to also ensure that lives and property are protected? We've seen a video, we are yet to confirm, of people using a very dilapidated bridge which caved in as a result of the flood waters. And so I'm asking beyond the blame game, excuse me to use that expression, we are confronted with a real situation right now. So what is NADMO telling the people of Kumasi who are watching me right now, apart from asking them to find a safe haven?
As I'm talking to you now, all these things borders on security. So we have referred the matter to Regional Security Council for them to deal with it. It's beyond NADMO's, our capacity.
Okay. All right. So for those who have been affected by the floods now, has NADMO been doing anything for them?
Yeah, we have been with them. Those who were affected last 3 days, the victims, we have been with them. And those who were affected yesterday, we are still working on them.
Have you been able so far to provide any relief for those who've been rendered homeless or those who've lost property in the process?
That comes after we have made an assessment.
Okay.
For us to know the number of people that are affected.
Okay. So if I get you clearly, what it is now is that RegSec is going to be meeting over this matter, the floods in Kumasi, and come up with a proper plan on how to ensure the protection of lives and property. There's also the challenge of development and how it affects the flow of rainwater. In one of the reports, we are told that a stalled road project is causing the flooding. As NADMO, how do you liaise with the city authorities to ensure that some of these things are done quickly and properly to avert floods, which results in the loss of life?
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you. The Regional Security Council, the regional minister, being the head of the RegSec, has taken the matter and is going to deal with it.
Okay. I appreciate your time this morning. That's Kwabena Century. He's Ashanti Regional NADMO Director. He's been sharing with us what's been happening in the Ashanti region capital, especially with regards to the rains And that video I was talking about from somewhere in Kumasi, well, that's it on your screen. It's an amateur video, but in there you see a very dilapidated bridge, a wooden one, and you can see the flood waters almost, taking over the bridge. You can see that it's, at this point, the bridge looks a bit weak in the mid-structure. In there, I'm not sure if you can hear, but I've watched the video. And as more people began to use the bridge, there was a gentleman cautioning them of how weak the bridge is. So there you see people who are being pushed away. At this point, as you can imagine, the recording had to stop, I presume, to try and help to save the persons. We are following the situation in Kumasi closely. And if you live in Kumasi, as we've been told by the NADMO boss, they're forecasting more rain, so please stay safe. And like you heard, you don't want to take risks. If you live in a flood-prone area, maybe you may just have to relocate for a while.